Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Harry Brailsford, SMB Nation, and this is another On the Road segment from Atlanta, Georgia, with Rob Spee, an emerging actor, character, leader in our community. Some people know Rob, but Rob, welcome. And for those that don't know Rob, please introduce yourself. I'm gonna kind of review your LinkedIn profile over on screen number two, but thank you for joining us for an On the Road segment.
Oh, thank you, Harry. Great to be here. Enjoying it.
Excellent. So, first of all, you have a technical background. Let's just rewind the clock a little bit. You have an engineering degree from the well-respected Colorado School of Mines. So let's start there and work through your channel experience. Then maybe get some thoughts on what you think 2019 will bring.
Yeah, sure. So I got my start. Actually, I'm finding it's surprising how many people in the channel I'm finding who have an oil background. But I
Yep.
got my start as a drilling engineer working for an oil company called Tenneco down
Hmm.
in New Mexico. So my first job out of college was living in Lafayette, Louisiana, and flying by helicopter about 60 miles offshore onto a platform.
Oh boy, howdy.
Yeah,
That's
it was
that's
fun.
Yeah, that is something. Then you went on to, and I really respect this. I really like people, and I'm having this conversation with my son Jeff. He just finished his aerospace engineering degree at Cal Poly. I'm going to give him a year off, but I quickly want him to start his master's degree before he gets old. And I'm really pushing him to an MBA because I think
Mhm.
something like an aerospace engineering degree with an MBA is a solid. He disagrees with me. That's his job. He's kind of thinking a master's in engineering, which isn't wrong. It would be a different career path. But you got an MBA from UCLA a few years after you finished your undergrad. What was your thinking behind the MBA? I'm always interested in pushing our audience to be life learners.
Yeah, sure. So when I got into the oil industry, it was just about the worst time to get started in the business. It was coming off a massive boom. This was in
Yep.
the 80s, and I had been on the rig less than a year, and we had a Black Friday and massive layoffs and everything. And it worked out okay. They sent me to Houston and they put me into a business group. So I was in an oil trading group, which led to some pretty fun trips to Europe. I went to Africa, and suddenly I went from working on a rig with guys who were missing fingers to traveling first class to London and Paris, Beauvais and Geneva. And I thought, man, there's a better side of the business here, working the numbers instead of working the rig. And
Yeah.
I thought, okay, let me round out my engineering degree with some business schooling so that I can transform myself and migrate into this burgeoning high tech industry.
Yep.
So that was really my thinking behind it.
Well, and as I like to say, I went to grad school for all the wrong reasons. I did not want to go home to Alaska to the oil industry, but I'll tell you, Rob, they can't take it away in bankruptcy. That's what I love about a master's degree. You can't lose it in a bankruptcy or a divorce or whatever, right? It's yours.
Well, I had a hard time escaping the oil industry. That MBA led me to a position with Schlumberger,
Oh yeah.
yeah, one of their divisions. So I stayed in the oil business for another 3 years, and they sent me over to Europe. So I got a job over in London, which was fantastic. I did international marketing for them, and then finally moved out of that into high tech, got into a startup, and then got my first channel position as an international channel manager, and just fell in love with working in the channel.
Yeah, so let's talk about this. I'll tell you what, let's pick up with some your experience that my audience would know. I'm looking over your resume in
Yeah.
LinkedIn, but I want to start with Arrow. We've had interaction with Arrow out of Denver, Colorado. You were there a couple of years, I believe. Aren't they down in the DTC? I thought they're down in the Denver Tech Center.
They are now, yeah. At the time that I joined them, their headquarters was still in New York, but
Oh,
had so many people living in the Denver area, and they had an office there, but they ended up moving the headquarters to Denver.
and if you had to pick, because our audience, and I mean this respectfully, Arrow would probably be what we call below the pay line. our audience is going to have a conversation or be aware of Cynics, a D&H, and Ingram, and a Tech Data, and a couple of others. So
Hmm.
for whatever reason, Arrow is just below the pay line. What is Arrow known for in distribution?
Well, two things. One is the electronics distribution,
Okay.
a huge piece of the business, and then the ECS electronic, or what was it called? Enterprise Computing Solutions, I think was the ECS term. And they were traditionally servicing larger enterprise clients with enterprise software. I got pulled in actually because they had a big initiative funded by IBM when they wanted to go after the mid-market
Yeah.
and to attract more of those SMB type resellers. So I came in and built out this partner program. We called it Empower. It was the
Okay.
Empower program for mid-market, and recruited hundreds of resellers and really helped grow the IBM business into the mid-market. And that got really morphed into the overall Arrow business.
Yeah. Well, fast forward the movie a little bit. You did a tour of duty over at Carbonite, and what's interesting to me about Carbonite, and Carbonite's a friend of SMB Nation, but when I put on my analyst hat, where is it? Where is it? It's off screen. I do have some hats. Um, oh well, it's over there. But when I put on my analyst hat, and you don't have to comment if you're not comfortable, but I've seen Carbonite. Sometimes they're hot with channel, and sometimes they're not. And that's my job as an independent
Mhm.
analyst, right? I got to call it like it is. I don't know if you care to share any comments on that. And again, we like Carbonite, so it's not a negative comment. I'm just observing.
Mhm. Yeah. Well, and it's been a few years since I've been there. At the time, we were definitely very hot on the channel.
Yeah.
I was pulled in to help them transform their distribution strategy and revamp that and help make it successful. And we were working with a number of distributors who helped us find a lot of good partners targeting the SMB.
Okay.
And a lot of push. I would say the major push from a company perspective was on the channel and how to be successful. Because at the time, that's when Carbonite was really transforming from being more of that consumer company
Right.
to an SMB play.
Yep.
And since then, they've made a lot of strategic acquisitions after I left. I continue to follow in what they're doing. It's very interesting. And I think they've gotten very serious as a small business or enterprise play, kind of moving up the stack. I'm not sure where they're at right now from the channel. I
Yeah.
know
I'm not either.
one of the challenges for a company like Carbonite or any company with a SaaS model is the role of the distributor and the role of the reseller.
Yeah.
They need the reach and scale of the channel, but the technology and buying process is such that it's just much easier for a customer to go in and sign up online.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
so you've got kind of different reasons for using the channel. It's not the transaction really.
Yeah. It's a conundrum. It
Yeah.
so one of the companies I think is a hidden jewel, and it does bring back trauma from grad school and the critical, or what am I trying to say, the required quantitative methods course. And dude, I full disclosure, but when I was ski racing, I believe I told you off camera, I ski raced my first year of college. That was at
Yeah.
Montana State. I had to go to remedial math in the first quarter, okay? Because I went to what they called an alternative high school. So
Hmm.
I had to go to math, remedial math, in order to get into math classes. So, it's kind of funny that I can even spell analytics today.
Well, it's much easier
But
today than it used to be.
one of my first experiences with quantitative tools, now called analytics, were two packages, SPSS and SAS. You said that they like to go by the name SAS.
Right.
So for those of the audience that don't know SAS, I think at one point you told me while you were there, it's the biggest $4 billion privately held company you've never heard of.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, it's amazing. SaaS followers and people who've known SaaS over the last 40 years are hugely loyal.
Yeah.
A lot of people, and particularly the channel, don't know SaaS, or they think of SaaS as kind of your grandfather's analytics company.
Yeah.
They don't recognize how much investment they continue to make in analytics and how powerful their technology is and all the different ways that it's being used. And with the trend of analytics being moving from solutions to business outcomes, that's what customers want to buy is the outcome, not the technology. And with the help of the channel, that's really the purpose of the channel increasingly is developing that targeted solution, that business outcome solution, not just selling SaaS analytics.
And the partner is, and again, I'm on a journey with the SMB Nation audience to get them to think about the wetware up here between the ears.
Mm-hmm.
And that includes analytics and some thinking man, thinking woman opportunities.
Yeah.
But yes, it seemed like it's a larger partner. Let's talk about that. It felt more like Tableau. It felt like a larger partner.
Yeah, Harry, we just lost your video there, but
I was going to say, well, keep on going. It's all
right. It isn't necessarily the larger partners. That certainly plays a role, but the larger partners are more the global system integrators or regional system integrators.
Yep.
There are a lot of really high value partners who are small boutique consulting firms.
Boutique, okay.
Yeah, and a lot of those guys came from SaaS. They were SaaS consultants at some time, and then decided to go off and hang up their own shingle and built a practice. So a lot of the top partners with SaaS might have only 20, 30 employees.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of those guys. I would say if you look globally where the channel's really strong, that's where you start seeing some other big players, particularly in Asia. You have some really, local, very big players who are becoming very strong SaaS channel partners and massive analytics practices.
Well, that's interesting because as you all know, I have a love affection and a fondness for the analytics area, did a big data startup, yada, yada, yada. So I never missed the IBM IBM Partner Summit that's coming up in February this year down in the Bay Area. And I've always thought SaaS and IBM got in early, right? There's a couple firms that got in early and have helped define the paradigm. And to your point about overseas partners, that's exactly what we see with IBM is that conference is over 50% international. And the way you can tell is when you step outside the door, they have many cigarette smokers from Asia and Europe versus on the West Coast. Yeah, I haven't seen a cigarette smoker in years up here in Seattle, let me tell you. But the point is, it is a visual postcard of the nature of IBM's global reach, right, in the analytics area. And I'm hearing you mirror that a little bit.
Oh, yeah. SAS does an annual event, the SAS Global Forum, huge national audience. And that's where we do our global partner forum as well. And I don't remember the numbers. It might have been over 50% coming internationally.
Yeah.
Huge contingent coming from Asia.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. And well, let's fast forward the movie. We like to keep our audience demands a 8-minute or less interview as we're able in the new YouTube world. So channel journeys, you have side action. I love side gigs that you've kept going throughout your career.
Yeah.
What is channel journeys? And give me 2 or 3 predictions for 2019 that you think my audience would appreciate.
Okay, so channel journeys, it's 2 things. It's a side consulting gig that I have, but as of a couple weeks ago, it is also my podcast. I've launched this, and my intent, it's intended for channel professionals. So all of us in the channel sharing ideas, sharing what we've learned, the bumps and scrapes and bruises that we've gotten along the way, and helping people kind of learn from it. Anyone that's new that's coming into the channel business or whatever age, there's always more to learn. There are always more challenges, particularly today, working with the channel. So that's my intent. I'm trying to make it fun, have fun conversations with folks, and I hope people will enjoy it.
So aside from the stock market being up about 770 points on a Friday in January as we talk, give me 2 or 3 other predictions for the year that you're hearing, you're feeling that might be interesting to SMB Nation.
Yeah, I think, Harry, it is not all, but almost all about analytics is number one. Everybody's business has got to have some type of analytics component to it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And there's, players like SaaS, there seems like there are new analytics players popping up every day. And a lot of vendors are transforming themselves into analytics companies.
Yeah.
And you're seeing that through acquisition or whatever. So that's a very big play. So that's number one. And then number two, I think from the partner side, I think we're going to continue seeing a lot of startups coming out in the channel as channel partners from a variety of different areas. You hear about the shadow channel of accountants and things like that. But I think there are going to be a lot of startups. It's so easy now to start a company, and there's such great technology that you can go out and develop an analytics company. We had one at SAS that was focused just on professional soccer and analyzing professional soccer players. So it's like that. You and I, we could probably go out and do it, but I think it's going to be the smart kids coming out of college. Everybody ought to be out there with some type of analytics degree and go start an analytics company. I mean, that's just such a great opportunity today.
Yeah, I like to position myself on a personal level professionally as a player coach. So I'm probably more comfortable carrying the clipboard on the sidelines and then telling the young people to get out there and rock and sock them.
Yeah, I tried it, Harry. I actually was at a startup a while back, and we were just a few years too early, I think, to make it really happen.
Well, I'll tell you what I want to do, Rob. First of all, appreciate your time. And as you know, we have the ongoing academic lecture series called the MSP Tech Talk. It's like college, winter, spring, fall quarters, that kind of thing. And we're a little bit overexposed to our audience in the analytics conversation, but maybe I can bring you back summer quarter, right? Let's give our audience just a little break from analytics and blockchain and some other topics we've overexposed. But let's, Jenny over in the radio control room, if you could make a note, let's get Rob back let's do an academic lecture summer quarter while you have humidity and I have sunshine. And we'll pick it up from there. But best regards and your endeavors in 2019, my friend.
All right, Harry, that sounds great. I'll see you at summer school.
All right, thank you.
All right, you're welcome.